day. It came to my house in the usual way, but the box was dent, the package torn, the graphics card didn't look that worn. I opened up my PC and I plugged it in, but the fans refused to spin. The fans refused to spin. Hey guys, Hardware Hound here. I have some new products to review. And, well, I say new because it's actually from a new vendor, but I have got several things from EpicGear. So EpicGear is kind of a subsidiary to Gale, Gale who does memory, and I got to cover them during CES, and their CES was pretty fantastic. And so then they offered to send me some samples, and I said, sure, let's do it. So you can see them right here. I have a desk full of EpicGear stuff to review. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to actually split these guys up a little bit because I feel like that they've given me just a little too much stuff to put in one review. In fact, they might have given me a little too much to put in 2 reviews, so I'm going to end up putting this into 3 reviews. I've really thought it through. So for the starters, we're going to go ahead and cover their keyboard, which is right here, and their swappable switches that are right here. Pretty fun stuff. Okay, guys, let's take a closer look at this keyboard. So what we've got here is, pretty typical, pretty standard mechanical keyboard. Full 10 key, whole 9 yards. Some of the nice things that EpicGear is doing about this guy is, first off, it looks like they've got an actual aluminum panel here on the top, and that gives it kind of a nice solid feel. One of the minor problems with it is when you have clicky keys like the purple switches here that EpicGear has, which is similar to the cherry blues, you can sometimes hear a little bit of that metallic, a little bit of that ting that comes from it. But that's not, I feel like, a problem with the keyboard itself as much as it is a problem with just in general when you have that much clickiness going on. So overall, it looks good. Got a little bit of, you got a little scroll wheel here, just something you can tune to some stuff, but not a whole lot of fancy but bells and whistles. Pretty straightforward keyboard, no macro keys and stuff, which I don't find is a big deal. Flipping it over, kind of see, it'll be upside down. Got just your typical keyboard stands. Everything's pretty straightforward. Got a nice EpicGear label there. But this keyboard feels pretty solid. It's kind of heavy. One of the downfalls is it doesn't come with a wrist rest, but then again, the way EpicGear has modularized everything, they sell all that stuff separately. So that would normally be kind of a bad thing, except I do appreciate that it gives a lot of customization. Customization is what this keyboard's about. Now, granted, we've got all of these RGB keyboards coming out, and don't get me wrong, I love RGB keyboards. I'm super happy about them. But this keyboard is going to give you customization at a different level. It's going to let you change out your switches, and it's going to let you change your lighting in a different way. So one of the really cool things is EpicGear has these guys. And so these little packets come with a bunch of switches. I'm going to focus in on that a little better. And so you get a pack of 24 switches, and you can choose to change out everything. So EpicGear's got a purple switch, which, got more purples in here because I switched some out already. And that's like kind of like a cherry blue. It's very clicky and has tactile feedback. They have an orange switch, which is very similar to a brown, in that it's got tactile feedback, but it's not clicky. Then they've got their grays, which is kind of like the cherry reds. It's just a speed switch that's meant for speed and actuation. So you can swap these switches out. They've got the little tool here, and you can take things off. So let's take a look at this keyboard again. All you have to do is reach in here. With the keycap holder, it's pretty easy. It just pops right in, and then you can just pull a cap off really pretty easily. So there you can see I've got one of my grays. In the other parts of the keyboard, I have this one came with purple switches, so the whole keyboard is purple, which I found out is really nice for typing. I like typing on purple, but for gaming, I don't like it as much. And I think that's the other thing that's really cool about this keyboard is the fact that it did give me very similar feels to what I've experienced before, in that I like certain tiles of switches for gaming and various other things. So once you got that all off, then all you have to do is just pull your tool in here and you can pop the switch out. But these switches, I found sometimes they're really easy to pull out, sometimes they're not. So let me just see if I can get one of these to pop out. There we go. That one came out pretty easily. Sometimes that's not the case. And I think if maybe EpicGear might want to just look at how they can design that to maybe make it pop out a little easier, but if you pop out too easy, they could fall out. You know, I don't know. That's kind of a conundrum right there. But there you go. You just pop that switch out. So let me pull this guy a little bit closer. We're going to focus in on that. So bingo. All right, so look at that. We got our little gray switch here. And so, yeah, just pulls out. You got your little contacts there. What's really cool is this little light bar here actually slides out so that you can change the lighting by doing these light bars. They've got a few different color options. I'd like to see that get expanded a little bit more. So yeah, maybe not the full RGB type keyboard that we're seeing a lot of lately. But honestly, I feel like this is a really cool idea. So you can pop out your switches. The other nice thing is if you get a switch that goes bad or something, it would be pretty easy to replace. So let's see if I can get that to focus in on the keyboard again. So yeah, there you go. Also, there's different lighting effects. So if you hold down the function and press the number keys, there I can just turn the lights straight on. I can turn them off. Here we just get kind of a nice little wave effect that continuously glows. Here it's actually turning off the keys as you type. And then here it's turning on the keys as you type. As you can see, that's some very bright LEDs. You can just see that in the camera right there. So everything's pretty bright. Everything's white. So when you change color bars, you can change the colors very easily. So that is to me a different type of customization for a keyboard. Really like it. Think it's really fun. I mean, it feels like I got a Lego keyboard. I know it's not a Lego keyboard. I just said Lego keyboard. If somebody doesn't post that in the description below, I'm going to be a little disappointed because it's the internet. Somebody ought to be able to find me a Lego keyboard and say, here it is. But anyway, this is fun. I enjoyed it. There's a quick closer look. Let's talk about how this thing actually felt on a daily use and gaming basis. Okay, so now we've gotten that out of the way, we've taken a closer look at everything. Let's talk about how this keyboard felt. And this is where EpicGear is starting to really impress me. Now, I say starting, they're impressing me in ways you don't even know yet, but that's coming. But there's a little bit of a spoiler there. But the switches on this keyboard, on the Defiant, were pretty fantastic. I was really surprised how quickly I got hooked to the feel of them. So what I did is I went ahead and swapped out a few of these switches, especially since they sent me this pack. And so I went ahead and pulled the keycaps off. I put some of their oranges in place of the purples that I had, and I put some of the grays. And I gotta say, guys, these switches feel fantastic. I've got some kale switches that I use for work. I've got cherries in my normal setup, and you know, I'm really liking EpicGear. I don't know. I don't want to be biased because there's so much that I'm really enjoying about them, but these switches feel great. And considering that they're making kind of their own versions of these switches that just do their own things, I'm surprised at just how amazing they feel. They don't feel like cheap switches. And do I dare say that I like EpicGears better than Cherries? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Am I allowed to say I like EpicGear switches better than Cherries? Now, I'm not 100% positive because some of that is I really love these clicky keys for typing, but when it comes to gaming, they definitely do not feel as nice. I really do like the oranges for gamings. That's similar to a cherry brown, these orange switches. I like that little bit of tactile so that it gives me a nice feel when I'm typing, but still feels really good during a gaming session. But of course, they still have the grays, which is kind of their gaming switch, and those felt really good. I gotta say, guys, I don't know that I can discern the difference. At least on my Kale keyboard, I kind of felt the difference after a while. Like basically, I got the Kale first because I bought it. Then I got to review a Fanatic keyboard, and that had Cherry MX Browns in it, and it was just to me very obvious at the point. Wow, okay, Browns are way better. And I think EpicGear might have a little bit of an edge. I'm not sure. So, guys, I gotta say, I think this keyboard's fantastic. And I don't know. I think they're doing a really good job. But let's go ahead. Let's get to the conclusion. Wrap this thing up. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and wrap up this review and give this guy awards. So really, a mechanical keyboard can feel like a mechanical keyboard. Now, what EpicGear's got going on, something that does feel like it's got some pretty good quality to it. I could see where, maybe there could be some minor issues, but I upgraded firmware right away, so I never had any problems with it. The switches feel fantastic. I do really feel like they're comparable to Cherry's. I don't have the months of using this keyboard to really say for sure, but I am going to keep this guy on my desk for quite a while because I really like what EpicGear's doing. Here's the deal. EpicGear has got a keyboard that you can change out the switches on, you can change the light bars in, you can do some pretty cool customization that you don't expect. And it's also like 90 bucks on Amazon. I mean, sometimes that price will drop a little bit. I think last I checked it was around like 88, had a couple bucks off. But even just taking it at the $90 value, that is a fantastic price for a keyboard that is going to compare to a Cherry. But then here's what's nice about it. You spend that price once, and then you don't necessarily have to spend it ever again to do anything different. So let's say you started out with some clicky keys and you want to switch out and you're like, let me go to some Browns because I want to try something that might give me a little better gaming performance. You can get a 24 pack of these keys for 15 bucks. I think that's an excellent price for a little bit of the for one solid color of the switches. And honestly, you can get the mixture of them, which costs a little bit more, but I don't really see the purpose of having a mix of the switches. I get for review purposes having a mix so I can test all of them out. But on a personal level, I would just buy one switch. And if I was going to swap out the keys in this guy, I'd just buy a couple of packs of the oranges and go ahead and switch it out and get the ones that I'd want on there. That being said, I'm not really all that upset about the purples, so I'm going to hang on to them for a while. That's a really great price to be able to do that much customization. I love the fact that they've got just different little unique features and just a lot of quality. Just the aluminum base, the fact that you can swap out switches. It's just a really, I think the pricing is amazing, really amazing, and a keyboard feels really good. So you've got these nice packs, you've got this really good keyboard. I'm gonna do it. It's definitely gonna get a Pure Overclock Editor's Choice Award because until some RGB keyboards that are good quality come down to a price where they're comparable, I feel like this guy is giving you a really awesome option at a really great price. Because most of your really good Cherry boards that have a nice feel are going to run 80 to 100 bucks. They're usually 100, but some of them I've seen drop down to a pretty consistent 80. So I know you can get that option, but $10 more, get a little more variety, and you got something that has an aluminum base, just various things like that. So EpicGear is doing a fantastic job. Pure Overclock Editor's Choice Award. Very pleased with what I'm seeing here. As always, guys, with new format, check the description below. I have a link to my written review, which will give you a little more details on specs and packaging, and then have some conclusions and stuff as well. Of course, I got some other links to EpicGear's site and various other things, so go ahead and check that out. Like and subscribe if you like this video and want to see more, and keep an eye on my channel because, as you can see, I got more EpicGear reviews along the way. So sit tight. We're going to check it all out. I'll catch you later. And the RAM's in the socket in the CPU. I was really looking forward to my new GPU. When my part returns, well, I don't know when, but my comp will work again. I'm gonna have game time then.